One of the first families we met at the very first camp we did was an amazing family, and the children, their 3 youngest children, were attending our little camp, and we learned that they weren't going to school and they never had been to school. And so when we went to talk to the family at the end of the camp and meet the family and come to know their story, what we found was this family wanted so badly for their kids to be able to go to school. The mother and father never had the opportunity to go even to kindergarten.
Es lo que le pasó a la Yolanda cuando entraba a la escuela del kinder de aquí al centro, porque no tenemos dinero para taxis. Los taxis llegaban 500 pesos a la semana. Es mucho.
Aparte lo que le dábamos para la botana.
Sí.
She actually cried when she explained to me that she wanted so badly, and she tried to send Yolanda to kindergarten, but by the end of that 2 weeks, it became clear to her that she had to choose between education and food. And she chose food, and that's what any good mother would do, is she would choose to feed her family.
And that's really, I think, where the spark for Kathleen happened. Seeing this girl who had this drive and this tenacity and this ability to overcome barriers, but she had a barrier she couldn't overcome. And Kathleen realized that with her nonprofit, she could help her overcome that barrier.
My family and I have been coming down here vacationing for many years. Like most people that came down here to vacation, I just enjoyed the beaches and the restaurants and all the touristy areas. And you know, at that time, I sometimes probably noticed the kids out in the malecon selling gum or helping their parents, working out on the streets or washing windows. And I had started thinking more and more as we came down here to vacation about those kids that were not going to school and wondering why they weren't. We went and met and talked to families. We went and offered these camps out in the communities in some of the areas of highest need in this community so that we could ask the questions and talk to the families and get to know what are those obstacles. Just seeing how many kids in this community do not have access to education helped us decide that that's where we wanted to focus. That's what we wanted to do. And so Yolanda's family were the first that we took into our program. Yolanda started out 2 years behind, but she was so motivated and so hungry for learning that by the end of her first year in school, she was not only caught up, but she was at the top of her class. So after school every day, Yolanda would come home and teach her mom everything she had learned that day and how to sound out different words. So as Yolanda is learning how to read and write, her mom is learning how to read and write.
Yolanda knew that she was lucky enough to have an opportunity. And now if you talk to her, she says, I want to be a teacher. I want to help kids go to school. And to hear a little girl say those things, it drives home the impact that education has had in her life. You see that education doesn't just impact an individual, but the entire family.